Now. And now. Hitting play. I'm sorry, play. Free camera, not okay, and now. No broadcaster. Hello guys, Pigmask here, casting game number 2 between EG and Dignitas from the Killing Spree North America tournament. This is a remake here. They had, I guess, already drafted, and there was some kind of an issue, so the game had to be remade. So we will not see the banning phase at all, but they are going to be, I guess, jumping straight into the game. So if we, I guess, while they're selecting their heroes and everything, while this is getting set to go, we can perhaps talk a little bit about last game. Talk a little bit about what happened, what didn't work for each team. Last game, Dignitas saw Storm Spirit, Lina, Darkseer, Lifestealer, and Rubik. Actually, the Rubik we see here is on EG. In the last game, Rubik was on Dignitas, and he had a pretty good game. Rubik stole some fantastic spells. He stole Beastmasters on a handful of occasions. Got some amazing stuns as a Beastmaster. Additionally, he got some good stuns, or I'm sorry, good abilities from Luna. He got a good Eclipse steal in a couple of instances. So, yeah, that was definitely a standout game for Rubik. In this instance, though, the Rubik's going to be on the other team, as we see. Rubik's going to be over on EG. It's going to be played by Dignitas. So, I guess, before we introduce the players, let's go over a couple more things from last game. We saw Lifestealer play, good Lifestealer play from Dignitas. Dignitas did win the last game. Lifestealer had some good play. He had a Mjolnir up pretty quick. He had an Armlet up even quicker, of course. And Lifestealer saw quite a bit of action. Storm Spirit as well for Dignitas. Saw some great action, some great instances in which he caught people on EG out of position, well out of position, and was able to turn fights into, 5v4, 4v3, etc. So that was pretty good all around for Dignitas. They played very cohesively, very well. EG actually held quite a bit of the game in their hands in the middle. They had a lone druid on their team that was pushing incredibly well. They had a Chen that was pushing incredibly well, and they had a few instances where they were pushing down towers, just 2, even 3 in a single push, and they were very successful with that. So successful, in fact, that we're seeing another Chen here. Actually, EG's team is not that different from last time. They've got the Luna, they've got the Lone Druid, they've got the... I'm sorry, they don't have the Lone Druid, they have the Beastmaster, and they have the Chen. Now, last game, they had those 3 heroes, plus, a Lone Druid and a Venomancer. Lone Druid, he had an okay game. Lone Druid did alright, but his biggest issue was really not being able to get the farm that he needed in the time that he needed it. Luna was kind of forced into a bad spot as well, and she wasn't able to get much farm. She picked up I believe she had a BKB and a Manta style, but it was very late, and she was getting slaughtered by the Lifestealer and the Storm Spirit. Additionally, Darkseer had an Aghanim's Scepter, and his walls were crazy. He had some crazy walls with Fear running, or with actually, well, it was Fear on the Luna, but I meant to say Luna running through those walls, and it was pretty rough for EG. So EG definitely has something to prove in this game now, having lost the first one, and we're gonna see Fear playing that Luna once again. We're gonna see Demon. I meant to select him there. We're gonna see Demon playing the Beastmaster, that fancy outfit, which he was wearing last game, so I won't harp on it too much, but it is very nice looking. We're going to have Betas playing the Rubik, as I mentioned before. We're going to have Jo on the Darkseer, and last but not least, Malik is going to be again playing that Chen. It looks like up top right now we have Dignitas looking for a team fight up in the jungle on the north side of the map in that top lane, but they're not going to find it, even though Aoi may want it, as he looks around as Tiny, tethered to Wisp. Or perhaps the other way around, as Tides of Time has tethered to the Tiny, as he's going to be playing that Wisp. That was some mumbled mix-up of a sentence there, and I apologize for it. Universe is going to be playing Nyx, Universe, the newish addition anyway, to Dignitas, replacing Sneaking. And he's going to be playing the Nyx, as I said. Sneaking, though, speaking of which, is going to be here in this game playing the Shadow Shaman. And who's he replacing in this game? We have Way Too Sexy here. Is playing the Nature's Prophet. We've got Universe, we've got Aoi, we've got Demon, so that's just going to leave Fogged. Fogged is not going to be in this game.
Got a feeling this is going to be good.
So, yeah, we've got a standard. So those are the teams. I introduced Dignitas a little bit sloppily, but that's fine. I was a little taken aback by Sneaking, actually, in this game. But he's here, and he's going to be going mid as the Shadow Shaman. He's going mid against the Beastmaster. So we'll see how that turns out in mid. Both pretty strong mid heroes. Beastmaster may be a little more common to see in mid. Shadow Shaman is pretty good if he picks up a level of Shackle early on. He can set up First Bloods incredibly easy with that one level of Shackle early. But in mid, of course, he has no reason to get that. He's going to get the Aethershock and Hex, and that's going to be pretty good. Though, again, Shackle is okay in mid. If the other lane gets a little greedy and they get too close to the tower, Shackle's going to hold him there for a good 2.5 seconds. And we have a stealth Rubik sneaking around here. This is bad for Sneaking, and he's getting grabbed by the telekinesis. Beastmaster is up front with, oh jeez, and there's a Chen coming in mid. Here comes Tides trying to save his buddy Sneaking, his former teammate, and he is able to just barely. That was close. That was close for Shadow Shaman. There was a bit of a gank attempt there. Two little support people coming to help out Beastmaster, trying to get that Shadow Shaman with a nice invisible Rubik with the Darkseer Ion Shell, doing a lot of damage there to Shadow Shaman, but Sneaking is able to get out thanks to his buddy. And again, former teammate, Tides of Time. So up top here, we're going to have Nyx doing a little bit of wandering about. There's no one in the top lane right now, so Tiny gets free farm. No one there to stop him from doing his thing. So Tiny's going to just kind of wander about. Tiny, of course, a very strong hero, very great when paired with Wisp. Tiny's biggest weakness, perhaps, is his slow attack speed. Going to check out the middle here as there's a little bit of action. Shadow Shaman taking a couple shots. But anyway, Tiny's biggest weakness, arguably, is his slow attack speed. You know, it's 1.5 seconds right now between attacks, and it only goes up, as in it gets longer as he gets grow. However, with Wisp on the team, Wisp can tether to him and apply that overcharge and give him a bit of a boost in attack speed. It makes for quite the combo and quite the ganking combination as well once Wisp hits that magical number, which is 6. So once Wisp is at level 6, he'll be grabbing Tiny and flying all over the map, looking for some ganks. Perhaps down here, maybe trying to slow down Fear as Luna. Let's see what her last hits are doing right now. She's at 16 last hits, as is Tiny. She's now at 17, using a good little smack on that creep. So we're gonna have the Nature's Prophet laning here. Against the Luna in the long lane. Now, Nature's Prophet is kind of an interesting hero. He can do quite a bit of things. He can mid, he can jungle, he can solo lane. He's even okay in a team lane, though. He definitely is someone who wants his levels and wants his farms. So you want to see him in a spot where he is kind of being greedy and getting everything he wants. And solo side lane is a lane for that. He has escapability as well. If you get a level of Sprout early, perhaps, or maybe just let him blow their stun and you can teleport out. He can get away. Now, the Beastmaster is, you know, he's kind of an interesting hero too. You want to send him mid pretty much until he hits 6 because you want to get that Primal Roar up. An excellent stun and a good amount of damage, and it goes through magic immunity. So once he hits level 6, you might see a rotation away from mid for the Beastmaster. Perhaps they could send someone like, I don't know, you could see... Actually, you know, I don't know that they're going to send anyone else mid this game. The Lone Druid... Or I'm sorry, the Darkseer can do okay mid, as can Nature's Prophet, but he's, you know, he's on the other team. And there are really no other heroes here that you'd probably see go mid. Rubik is a possible mid hero, but he's content, I think, in this sort of tri-lane setup right now with Chen and Luna.
Bottom tower's getting the business.
It's more of a wandering Chen, though, I think, than a permanent fixture in that bottom lane. And I'm a little surprised that that EG is content to let Tiny just beat up on that top lane and free farm as he is. Nick's kind of just acting as a bit of support, getting some nice pulls in. There goes that bottom tower. So this time EG sticking with their push strategy, those Sans Lone Druid. Lone Druid, a little more late game of a hero. which is fine. Which, you sometimes need that late game presence. In this case, the late game presence is going to be the Luna, and exclusively the Luna, which is understandable. You don't want to have to split up farm between, several different heroes. Jo getting pretty low on HP here, but he's going to be okay. So all the farm, all the big money items are going to be going right to Luna, right to Fear. I'm sure he's happy with that, sitting at 34 last hits, 13 denies. Right now you have Wisp again. Tide's kind of wandering about, this time teaming up with Way 2 in the bottom lane. Giving that Nature's Prophet a little support. That tri-lane kind of pushed pretty hard onto this tower. Took it down real quick. It was, I think, less than a 5 minute. I think it was around 4:30 that it got dropped. So, you don't want to let that happen. So Tides is going to head down there and kind of help Nature's Prophet scare off the competition just a tad. Though currently we have a few junglers kind of hanging out right now on EG. We've got Rubik doing a double pull on that camp right there. And then Malik, of course, is Chen, going to be hanging in the jungle quite a bit. And Jo on the Darkseer has been in the jungle for most, if not all, of this game. Currently working on that Soul Ring. Wants to pick that up as quick as he can. Jo's probably pretty effective in this top lane. And I think he's going to be heading there now. Yeah, it looks like he is. But he's pretty effective in the top lane as a Darkseer because he can just kind of cast that Ion Shell on a creep. Cast it on, any number of things to kind of zone the other team. Either make them back off, especially a guy like Tiny, who's a melee hero, so he's going to have to get up in there to get his last hits, to get the farm that he needs, and we might see a bit of a fight going on in here. Nature's Prophet looks like he was faking a teleport into mid, perhaps, or someone was teleporting mid. It looked like Darkseer ended up getting a kill on Shadow Shaman. Now Darkseer is going to teleport out. Beastmaster going to back away from the Shadow Shaman wards. It looked like it was, in fact, Nature's Prophet faking the teleport. Kind of scaring off EG just a tad. But that is a dead Shadow Shaman, sitting at level 7 right now. Wisp now is going to be the one rotating into mid, so, I was wondering who would rotate mid with Beastmaster after he hit level 6. And I didn't really pay attention to who was going to rotate mid after Shadow Shaman. Kind of got up there in levels, and it might be Wisp. Wisp wants to get that level 6 as quick as he can. It's not necessarily a common practice to see Wisp hanging out mid, in this kind of a game, but it is not the worst idea, I don't think. Especially if Dignitas wants a chance to counter push. You want to be able to gank people willingly and at the ready. Always have that teleport up at the ready. And right now, Wisp is kind of playing hard support as he does. Wisp is a hard support hero, but the earlier he hits 6, the better. Especially if Tiny is going to be getting up there in levels, which he is. Picking up a level of Grow kind of early here. Usually more common to see Avalanche and Toss, or it had been in the past anyway, to see Avalanche and Toss maxed before you even touch Grow. But with a Wisp on the team, perhaps you want the extra damage. Tiny doing 145 base damage at the moment. Darks are going to have to back away now. Those Ion Shells, though, you'd think that Aoi might be a little frightened of him, but at the moment he's not. Kind of the issue is casting as Beastmaster actually got a kill down here, killing Shadow Shaman once again. Beastmaster now level 8. Chen has really been a powerful ally here to EG in both this game and the last one, using that Troll Warlord to land quite a few nets in the last game, and I imagine he will continue to land good nets in this game. And he's a valuable asset as well if EG wants to continue this pushing strategy that they've been so keen to adopt. Luna already pushing onto this this tier 2 bottom tower, but here comes an invisible Nyx and a vendetted up Nyx. He's going to be chasing down Fear. Fear might just be a little bit afraid of Nyx at the moment, expecting Universe to teleport in and attack, and he did. Chen looking for some more experience in the jungle right now, and we have some stacking going on from Tides. So Tiny's sitting at level 8. He's got a point booster. Tiny's got to work, the old kind of meta for Tiny, the old standard for Tiny, I guess you could say, was a Blink Dagger. Blink in, burst damage with a nice Avalanche Toss combo. Did 900 and some odd damage. I forget how much, but a lot. But now it's to play Tiny as more of a hard push, a carry hero. Someone who will team up with a Wisp, get a Scepter, pick up that tree, pick up that nice tree, and followed up with some funny things. Before it'd be an Assault Curious, but With Wisp, you can just turn it on the overcharge and give him that beautiful attack speed. So now you see something maybe like a Manta style. In mid now, EG continuing to push now, but these Shadow Shaman wards, it looks like Dignitas learned from the last game. Again, last game, EG really employed a strong pushing strategy, and they took down the top lane pretty much, sorry about that, they took down the top lane in one swift motion. You know, they went 1, 2, 3, 3 towers were down, they rotated mid, took down 2 there. It was such a powerful and swift strategy they had. And and Dignitas didn't have a lot to say about it. But fortunately for them, they had a Lifestealer farming up and a Storm Spirit as well, farming up hard, and they were able to outcarry EG, and EG kind of lost their opportunity to finish the game.
You know the drill.
But at the moment, EG is they're continuing their push strategy despite Dignitas picking up a counter to that, which is the Shadow Shaman. These wards are not only great for pushing, but great for counter pushing as well. So is Aethershock. Aethershock has a strong anti-push ability as well. Universe hanging out in the shadows, looking for an opening. Chen just about has that mechanism. All he needs is that recipe. But Wisp is sitting here. Wisp and the rest of Dignitas are sitting here ready to fight. But EG is ready for a fight as well. There comes a Lucent Beam on the Wisp, looking to maybe scare him away or catch him out of position just a tad. But they're not going to be able to. Here comes a stun from Nyx now. Rubik does not have the spell stolen at the moment. He is level 6. He could grab something. There's a nice ultimate from Nature's Prophet. And this tower is going to drop. It's just a matter of when that rune, that ward, that defensive... that glyph, rather, there's the word I'm looking for, that glyph of fortification, just delaying the inevitable. So now we're going to have down here teleporting Luna, getting ready to push that bottom lane a little further. Again, this push strategy means you have to keep all lanes pushed pretty much the entire game. They want to keep this bottom lane pushed past this river, keep it beyond this line, get the creep attacking this tower intermittently, and then when it hits low enough HP and the timing is right, go and take it. And with a farmed up Luna, Luna is a pretty strong pusher. For being a carry, not all carries are necessarily good pushers, but Luna, once she starts leveling up those Moonglaves, she is a pretty effective pusher. She can clear lane very fast. Someone like Darkseer as well is a strong pusher. Beastmaster is a good pusher with his wild axes. Chen, of course, amazing pusher, great at killing towers with his plethora of creep buddies. And the Kobold Taskmaster, actually, that's not something you always see picked up, but that speed aura might help with a little bit pushing between towers. Just because it'll allow EG to kind of maneuver themselves around a little bit. There's a Midas up from Nature's Prophet, though. It's currently sitting idle. It's off cooldown, but he has not used it yet, wasting precious time. Midas, a very time-sensitive item. So he's going to go use that right now, I think. Shadow Shaman as well. Wandering around now toward the bottom. Along with Nyx Assassin. And this mid tower is about to drop now for Dignitas. So Dignitas again being put on their back foot thanks to EG's aggression. This aggressive play from EG. Very fun to watch. Very fun and exciting to see this team. Just the way they push lanes so effectively and so quickly. Again, they are not going to take a tower and be satisfied with it. They're going to take a tower and then they're going to take another tower. Up top here, though, we have Tiny taking a tower of his own. Aoi getting that last hit, and then Darkseer picking up the last hit on this mid tower, this tier 2 mid tower. So at the moment, Dignitas is down to 4 total towers versus the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total towers. 8 total towers, I'm sorry. 8 total towers of EG, though. Tiny is farming up. Tiny has his tree. He's carrying that uprooted tree around now. He is level 10, so his toss and his avalanche are maxed out. Wisp as well will be picking up levels of overcharge. There it is, level 6. He just hit. So we might be expecting some teleports now. We got to keep a close eye here on Wisp and Tiny because they're going to be blinking around the map, and EG is going to have to be aware of it. There's a smoke up though. I think that EG may have been trying to bait Dignitas in, make them think they were doing Roshan, run into the pit, smoke up, and run out. It's kind of a classic bait, and EG is not going to be successful in baiting Dignitas because they know the trick. And here, this is actually strong play from Dignitas because EG, if you notice, they're doing nothing right now. They're sitting here doing absolutely nothing. There's a double damage rune that someone should pick up. But if they actually want to get Roshan, which no, they're still trying to bait in Dignitas, and they're not going to be successful. So they just spent a good 30 seconds doing nothing Though they're going to turn that nothing into a kill for Beastmaster. Beastmaster picking off Nyx out of position. Someone here has a gem or perhaps there was a ward down. Yes, there is a ward down right there for EG. And now that it's 4v5, EG can maybe actually do Roshan. Their bait did not quite work, but with a Nyx Assassin unable to compete, EG is going to successfully take it, and I don't think Dignitas can do much to defend, so instead they're going to push. They're going to turn EG's game against them and push. Tiny, a strong pusher, doing an extra, I think it's, what, a 50% damage, 30% damage? 75% actually. He does a bonus 75% damage against 3, so he's doing nearly 300 damage a swing to this tower, and there it goes. Does not get the last hit, but it is down. So, who picked up that Aegis of the Immortal? That's going to be Luna picked up the Aegis of the Immortal at about the 15-minute mark. So Luna is farming up better this game than she was last game for certain. She does not have the most last hits, but her net worth is pretty close to Tiny. And this is some good play right now. This is good play I'm seeing from EG. They're not getting caught in any kind of traps. They're not letting, you know, the game get away from them again. If we look at the gold graph, it's going to be in the favor of EG, I'm almost certain. Yeah, it's, you know, about 5,000 up, but it's coming down just a tad. This is, I think that's a couple tower kills from Tiny. Kind of putting Dignitas back in, back toward, anyway, the positive gold mark. Not back in the positive. They're still at a deficit of about 5,000. And if you take a look at experience, it's also in the favor of Team Evil Geniuses. I almost said Team Dignitas, but that is not true. It has fallen towards Dignitas a few times, but it is not there right now. So right now, there's base racing pretty much at the moment. Tiny is just pushing mid as hard as he can, while Nyx and Shadow Shaman try to defend top, and they do successfully. They scare away EG. But EG is not going to be bashful about pushing more, though they are at a point right now where the quote-unquote easy towers are gone. The outer towers of Dignitas are taken down, so in order to get any more towers and continue that push strategy, they're going to have to walk up these steps and try to take this tower down up in the base of Dignitas, and that's dangerous. It's very hard to do because you don't have vision going up here. When you're crawling up, you can't see anything, and you know, you got this tower. You've got kind of a funneled area. It can be a little bit of a hard fight, and anyone that doesn't climb up the steps was going to have a mischance firing into it. So we'll see. We'll see how EG does now. If they've pushed all those towers, they've gotten a large gold advantage. Maybe they just want to start farming up Luna. Maybe they're gonna say, "We've pushed successfully. We've got you on your back foot. And if you want to push us, it's just gonna give us creep to farm up easy in our base. So we're just gonna farm up our carry. Maybe EG believes they can outcarry Tiny, you know, and Nature's Prophet. But I don't know. That's kind of a hard game to play. Luna has her BKB up. She's not gonna get stunned. And we're going to have to see a team fight in the next 5 minutes because that Aegis has been up now for actually almost 3. So we're going to have to see a team fight in the next 3 minutes. The Aegis, of course, having a 6-minute shelf life. So Fear's going to farm up as much as he can. Right now we've got a Nature's Prophet who is, he's got his Hand of Midas up. And right now it looks like he's going to be going up for that. I'm sorry. The Mjolnir. Ultimately. Maelstrom first. Helps him farm, gives him some attack speed. Beastmaster now farming them stacked ancients, along with actually pretty much all of EG's farming those stacked ancients. They're letting that love spread on around. Tiny kind of hanging on bottom. He has his Crystallis, so he's doing pretty good damage. 1.3 at attack speed. That's not actually too bad for Tiny, for a level 2 growth Tiny. And then Tiny also incredibly good at pushing. Tiny, one of the best pushers in the game, probably, thanks to his Avalanche Toss combo and then his Tree Siege damage. Tiny, an amazing pusher, and not someone that can be taken lightly. If EG wants to base race Dignitas at any point, actually base race Dignitas at any point, it's going to be tough with that Tiny there. It's going to be real hard with Tiny. And now Nature's Prophet has that Maelstrom. Not too many wards up at the moment for Dignitas, though EG has wards all over the place. They've got one in the middle, they've got one checking the secret shop, and then they've got a couple sentry wards to keep an eye out for Nyx. So right now, this is just kind of a, you know, the two teams are going to try to push the lanes as much as they can, and while simultaneously trying to farm up their late game crutch, which again, for Dignitas is going to be the Tiny. Nature's Prophet as well can get relatively strong late game. Not as strong as Tiny, and not as strong as the currently double damaged up carry for EG Fear, playing the Luna. Luna now, oh geez, this is going to be bad for sneaking. He could get caught here. A couple shots is going to kill him, I think. Oh, there's a nice eclipse coming in, trying to finish off sneaking. Sneaking goes down. So Luna chasing deep into the base of Dignitas to kill sneaking, and the tower of Dignitas goes down. So this is some nice play. This is Tiny got drawn all the way to the bottom here, and Tiny did admittedly get that tower, but he did not get the barracks, and EG was actually able to take down one barracks and get a kill on Shadow Shaman for their efforts, and it didn't lose anyone either. So that's going to be a pretty strong farmed up right now EG. Now Luna's looking good. Her base, her net worth is pretty much equal to Tiny right now. There is a small deficit, a small 500 gold deficit, about 550, but that's irrelevant at this point. 550 gold at 20 minutes into the game isn't a huge deal. Though Luna does not have too many items to show for her trouble, and she did not use that Aegis. I think Luna maybe should have tried to use it because now it just disappeared. It just went away. So Roshan's gonna be up in 4 more minutes. And if Dignitas wants to defend, this would be a good time to, because that Aegis has dropped. Tiny has a Daedalus, so despite the net worth being similar, Tiny is so much more farmed up at the moment. 934 damage crits, hitting in a nice cleave area. And with Wisp on him, it's a pretty high attack speed as well. And there are some wards. There are the wards I was mentioning before from Dignitas. Nice ward in the base. Always smart. When a good strategy is when you kill a tower, put down a ward in the enemy base where the tower was. It gives you great vision, and they can't see it because the barracks do not have true sight. So Shadow Shaman coming in here, trying to defend this tower from EG. EG determined though to push Darkseer trying to stick around as long as he can at the base. A nice Beastmaster's Son onto the Tiny. Chen ultimate drops. Rubik ends up dying anyway. Chen kills Wisp. Now here goes Tiny and Luna going to fight one-on-one, try to take each other out. One-on-one, of course, means 4-on-4. But still, whichever carry drops here first, I think is going to be the team that's going to be suffering. Actually, they end up both dropping. So Tiny gets killed, but then shortly thereafter, the Nature's Prophet ends up killing Fear. That was some nice play from Nature's Prophet, and now the Beastmaster is going to go down as well, so good play from Way Too Sexy, and a good play all around from Dignitas. Tiny ends up buying back in. If Tiny and Wisp could kind of team up right now, I think a nice little strategy here would be if Wisp has his teleport, which he does not, unfortunately. If he did, they could backdoor these Rexes. Given Tiny's damage output, teleport down in here with Wisp and Tiny, smash, 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 get out of there. I think that they could do that. I think they could backdoor it without too much issue. Look at the damage that Tiny does right now. And once a Wisp attaches to him and puts that overpower into high gear, that is some scary damage coming from Tiny. He is rolling out of control. Just look at how much damage each swing does to that Rex. Luna's going to be up in 2 seconds, though. EG just has to hold on to this tower for another 4 seconds now that the Beastmaster is going to be up as well. There's the good damage now coming from Tiny. Chen and Darkseer trying to do something else. There's a stun from Beastmaster and an Eclipse from Luna. That is going to be a dead Tiny, I have to feel. Yes, it is going to be a dead Tiny. Luna picking up the kill. Tiny getting an avalanche off. Not doing anything, though, to Luna once she drops that BKB. And now EG is going to have to push back. Tiny cannot buy in. He just did a moment ago. It's on cooldown for another probably 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 39 seconds. So that's a smoke up now from EG. EG may be getting ready to do the Roshan. He is up in a minute and a half. That's a bit of a wait. I don't think they're going to wait for it. I think they're going to try to push and get some mega creep of their own. Strike first. Again, Dignitas got this tower. Did not quite finish off this barracks. This melee barracks is at just below half HP. And now a nice toss actually stolen by Rubik. That was a nice little combo there. Toss by Rubik. Rubik tossing Chen at Wisp. What a strange combination, but damn did it not work. I'll be damned if it didn't work. And there's another toss from Rubik. Rubik just tossing everyone around left and right. There's a nice sentry ward put down just in case Nyx tries to do something funny. And the first blood on the barracks is struck by EG. EG taking the top barracks is before Dignitas was able to. So Tiny, despite his excellent farm, Luna is just a step ahead, or maybe EG is a step ahead. Nyx Assassin, he's been pretty ineffectual this game, actually. Nyx wants to get some kills on the Rubik, on the Chen. You know, maybe Mana Burn, the Beastmaster. Just do something, but he hasn't been able to. It's been excellent sentry placement from EG. 0.87 is what Tiny's attack speed drops to, which is absolutely insane. And that attack speed is going to be very beneficial in trying to take Roshan, which Dignitas is currently going for. The giant chicken getting beat down by a rock with a tree. And he is going down fast. He is getting beaten down hard. Chen going to scout this out, but it's going to be too little too late, I think. There goes a ward from Dignitas. And Tiny takes it. So Aoi is ever so strong right now. He's working on a BKB for himself at the moment. And we have a small smoke up from EG. This Aoi, man, he is he played an excellent Lifestealer last game, and he's playing an excellent Tiny this game. He's just getting so strong, and he's playing it so safe too. So safe, but so effective. You know, he's been playing it as a pusher. Again, Tiny's role as a carry is in question. He is a carry, but his toss doesn't help that much as a carry. You know, he does good right-click damage, but he's only effective really when he has an ally like Wisp. You know, he can get an Assault Cuirass, but it's a bit of a, you know, he has to farm that up, and it's again, it's an inventory space, and all it does is put him on an equal footing with other carries, you know, quote unquote other carries. And so Tiny can be incredibly effective, but he's a very effective anti-carry because of his craggy exterior. That passive skill, it has a 24% chance to stun, but when you're playing a Faceless Void, you're playing an anti-mage, it's a 100% chance to stun, because you're going to try to do something to Tiny, and you're going to get knocked around just every time you need to hit him, you are going to get stunned. So Tiny, perhaps a good anti-carry, but not necessarily the best carry. He needs to get out of control. He needs to really get a lead on his opponents, and then make use of every skill in his repertoire, which in this case he is. Again, Tiny's a great pusher, and he is showing it. Tiny is pushing the hell out of these lanes and really, again, putting EG on their back foot at this point in the game. EG was doing that earlier to Dignitas, but at this point, it's kind of Dignitas controlling that. Or it was anyway, until EG took this barracks. And now Dignitas has to respond to that. They have to have an answer for that barracks. They have to take a set of racks of their own. If they take the top racks, it's going to kind of just even things out and kind of, you know, set things back the way they were just a few minutes ago. If they take maybe, you know, barracks down here or barracks here, it's going to kind of skew things a little bit, because then EG is going to have to defend their bottom lane, let's say, if these are the barracks taken, and Dignitas is going to have to defend their top lane. And it kind of makes the fight in the middle. And, you know, probably the smarter move more often than not is to even things out. If you feel like your team can compete, you know, in 5v5 fights, and I feel like Dignitas is confident that they can. They have a good Hex. They have a couple of good stuns. And, you know, if they feel like they can compete in a team fight, then, yeah, you probably want to even out where the Mega Creep are. It also means you have to play a little less defensively. Because if EG have their barracks down here and Dignitas does not have their barracks up top, it's like the BKB up on Tiny now, then Dignitas has to play more defensively, because they have to always have that eye on this Mega Creep lane. Whereas if they take these barracks, then they can kind of forget about it a little bit. And maybe that's what Dignitas wants. Tiny now finally hitting 16. Finally hitting 16. I think he's the first one to hit 16. Yes, he is. Luna about halfway there through level 15. Tiny's going to be pushing mid with Wisp right now. Actually, most of Dignitas is here. We have an invisible, actually not an invisible, this is a smoked up Sneaking and Universe. I wonder if that's an awkward conversation. But Sneaking has been playing a pretty effective Shadow Shaman. He's been doing excellent at defending with these Serpent Wards. He's got his Blink Dagger now as well, so Sneaking is definitely playing the Achilles heel to EG's push strat, or rather he was at the moment. Again, this is looking like we're getting ready for a base race here.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right
And this is not a base race right now. Anyway, that Dignitas can win. They need the creep wave pushed up here, which it's a little ways still. There's one little creeper, but yeah, Dignitas realizes they're going to have to get out of here. Tiny's actually going to hang around. No, he's not. Tiny's going to TP as well. Didn't want to TP all at the same time. If you TP at the same time, it's, you know, cooldowns. You want to kind of game the cooldown. Someone has a Necro Book. That's going to be the Beastmaster, level 3 Necro Book. And those little guys just die. No one cares. I think Tiny just smacked them and took the damage and said, that's fine. I have 2200 HP. I'll take your, you know, 500 damage or whatever they do deal back when that one Necronomicon minion is killed. However much damage it deals to you. Tiny doesn't care. Tiny will take it. And now we have a little more farming going on. So this is kind of a farming competition between farming / pushing competition between Luna and Tiny. Nice teleport by Wisp, actually catches Rubik out of position. Nice that's actually a nice trio right there. A nice trio right there is a teleport in from Nature's Prophet, and then Wisp carries Tiny into battle. And suddenly it's 3v1 ideally, as it was right there. Unfortunately for little baby Rubik getting killed right there. So that's a scary proposition. That again, I was expecting to see some more teleporting ganks perhaps, but Tiny's playing it more of a pusher, more of a carry. So perhaps those teleport ganks, not really what he's worried about. He's more worried about getting kills when it's a team fight, and instead getting tower kills and pushing lanes during the rest of the game whenever teams are not fighting. So despite the seemingly gank heavy team of Nature's Prophet, Wisp, and Tiny, we've not seen too many ganks. And in fact, EG holds the crown at the moment for hero kills, sitting at 8 kills to Dignitas' 5. Beastmaster does have a gem, so Beastmaster is going to be very instrumental in making sure Nyx does not gank anyone on EG. Of course, he has to be around to make sure it happens, and right now he is. All 5 of EG is teamed up. Up here we have Nature's Prophet pushing all by his lonesome, but that's fine. Nature's Prophet is able to teleport around the map freely. Picks up a TP though. And EG wants to spend tower. He's a Necro Warrior. 600 pure damage actually. So Tiny now getting stunned by a Lucent Beam and caught out of position. Oh man, Tiny just got slaughtered. Tiny buys right back in though. That's what I was talking about. Tiny as a carry is not as effective as Luna as a carry, and she is just on a tear right now. Tiny comes in for a nice stun. There's a toss onto Luna, and then maybe a couple swings. No, instead a pickup and a Lucent Beam. There's a Fade Bolt. Tiny is down to 300 HP, 400 HP. That was a nice couple of steals there from Rubik. Rubik got the Serpent Wards. He also got, I believe, a toss at one point. And this is going to be a second set of barracks is now taken away from Dignitas. This is what EG wanted earlier, and there's a GG from time to time. So this is exactly what EG tried to do last game. This is precisely what they felt they realized they needed to do. They knew that they had to group up and push last game. And I think almost last game that was out of desperation. They grouped and pushed hard out of desperation. You know, perhaps. You know, then again, looking at their team, last game they had a Lone Druid, they had Beastmaster, they had Chen. Those are all push-heavy heroes, but they didn't have any way to kind of defend against a strong team fight, and that's kind of, I think, where the Darkseer came in, though. We saw very few walls from Jo, but, you know, he was maybe not as impactful as a Darkseer usually is, but a Darkseer is rarely obviously impactful. He's kind of he fights from the shadows. You know what I mean? He sits back and uses those little annoying ion shells and pulls a vacuum to pull you out of position. And he's not always the type of hero that you that was I don't know if they're kidding around or what. I mean, Fogged is
Radiant structures must have been
the Dignitas captain, and he's not here right now. Not really sure what's going on exactly. It looks like Wisp maybe GG'd out prematurely. Is that what? That might be what Dignitas is saying. That Wisp, the Tides of Time, Dignitas GG'd out too soon. Or maybe they were kidding around. I'm really not sure what they're talking about. But anyway, this was a dominant performance from EG. You know, that they enacted the push strategy they attempted last game, except this time they did it to just about to perfection. They put a lot of pressure in and pressured Dignitas, put them on their back foot the whole game. And Dignitas had one brief moment where they looked like they maybe were going to do something, is when they, just after they won a team fight, they pushed a bit, were not able to get this tower, and instead EG gets these Raxes, then grabs these, and then it's game. So this is game number 2. Yeah, Dignitas won the first one, EG won the second one. So what does that mean now? Well, this is a King of the Hill style tournament. A team has to win 3 in a row to be granted what is called a killing spree, and at which point is when they get prize money, when they win 3 games consecutively, and then get prize money for every win thereafter. So because Dignitas won the first and EG won this one, now EG has to win. EG has to win 2 more. These are best of 3 also. So, you know, it's going to be 1 more match now between Dignitas and EG, and then the teams move on. So yeah, thanks for checking it out. Again, these are real pig masks. Check out the YouTube channel.